The recent article published in Nature provides a compelling examination of the professional landscape among Nobel Prize winners in science and economics, revealing a strikingly interconnected network of scholars. The study analyzed data from 736 Nobel laureates, highlighting that 702 of them are part of a vast and intricate academic family formed through collaborations, mentorships, and shared institutional affiliations. This finding raises significant questions about the dynamics of recognition and success within the academic community. Key findings: 1. Interconnected academic network. The article underscores that a predominant majority of Nobel Prize winners are linked through established academic relationships. This network is characterized by a high degree of collaboration and mentorship, which often influences the trajectory of researchers' careers. The tight-knit nature of this community suggests that being part of this network may enhance one's visibility and opportunities for recognition. 2. Limited independent recognition. Among the 702 researchers embedded in this academic network, only 32 individuals have achieved the distinction of winning a Nobel Prize independently of these connections. This statistic raises concerns about the inclusivity of the Nobel Prize selection process, suggesting that it may favor those already within established academic circles rather than recognizing groundbreaking work from newcomers or those outside these networks. 3. Implications for diversity and innovation. The findings prompt critical reflections on the meritocratic ideals often associated with prestigious awards like the Nobel Prize. The heavy reliance on existing networks could potentially stifle diversity and innovation in scientific research, as new ideas and perspectives may struggle to gain recognition in an environment dominated by established relationships. Academic perspectives and personal narratives. In addition to the Nature article, various discussions have emerged on social media platforms where academics share their personal experiences and reflections on the interconnectedness within the academic community. Richard Senner's journey. Richard Senner, in a post on LinkedIn, recounted his academic journey from a physics background at ETH Zurich to earning a PhD in economics. His experience illustrates the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration and mentorship, which resonates with the findings of the Nature article. Senner emphasizes how his connections with influential physicists played a crucial role in his academic development, highlighting the often blurred boundaries between disciplines in modern research. Edward Tuft's artistic perspective. Edward Tuft, a notable figure in data visualization, offered a more personal and artistic take on the academic experience through his social media posts. While not directly tied to the Nobel findings, Tuft's reflections underscore the diverse interests and pursuits of academics outside their primary fields, suggesting that personal passions can coexist with professional achievements. Broader impact on academia. The exploration of Nobel Prize winners' academic connections sheds light on several broader themes within academia. The role of collaboration. The findings affirm the critical role that collaboration and mentorship play in academic success. While these relationships can facilitate knowledge sharing and innovation, they also raise questions about equity and access for emerging researchers who may not have the same opportunities to connect with established scholars. The nature of academic success. The interconnectedness among Nobel laureates challenges traditional notions of academic success. The implication that recognition may be more accessible to those within established networks calls for a re-evaluation of how achievements are recognized and rewarded in academia. Encouraging diversity. The insights provided by the Nature article and subsequent discussions emphasize the need for systemic changes to promote diversity and inclusivity within the academic community. By expanding recognition beyond established networks, the academic landscape could become more vibrant, fostering innovative ideas and diverse perspectives. Conclusion. The revelations from the Nature article spark an important conversation about the dynamics of recognition and success within the academic community. The interconnected network of Nobel Prize winners highlights the influence of established relationships on scholarly achievements.
Challenging the perception of meritocracy in academia.
As discussions continue on social media and within academic circles, it is crucial for the community to reflect on these findings and consider ways to foster inclusivity, diversity, and innovation in the pursuit of knowledge. Ultimately, the academic landscape must evolve to ensure that recognition is based not solely on established connections but also on the merit of ideas and contributions from a wider array of voices. The Nature article presents a counterintuitive perspective on the Nobel Prize winners in science and economics, revealing a significant degree of interconnection among them. The startling statistic that 702 out of 736 laureates are part of the same academic family challenges the widely held belief in the meritocratic nature of academic recognition.
Instead of celebrating individual achievements,
the findings suggest that the Nobel Prize may often reflect the strength and influence of established academic networks rather than purely objective measures of scientific contribution. This interconnectedness hints at a possible bias in the selection process, where individuals from within the same academic circles tend to be favored over equally qualified candidates who may not share the same network. The implication is that the recognition of scientific excellence is not solely based on groundbreaking research but also heavily influenced by relationships, collaborations, and mentorships that can create an insular environment. Furthermore, the article highlights that only 32 researchers within this extensive network have won the Nobel Prize independently. This statistic underscores a critical point: despite the numerous contributions made by scholars outside these established circles, their work may remain unrecognized due to the lack of connections to prominent figures in academia. This raises questions about diversity and inclusivity in the scientific community, suggesting that innovative ideas may be overlooked if they do not emerge from within these well-established academic families. The discussions on social media platforms further emphasize these themes, with individuals sharing their personal academic journeys that often involve crossing disciplinary boundaries. Richard Senner's experience of transitioning from physics to economics illustrates the interdisciplinary nature of modern research, yet it also reflects the prevailing academic structures that often dictate the paths available to researchers. Edward Tufte's artistic pursuits, while not directly related to the Nobel findings, highlight the diverse interests that academics pursue outside their primary fields, suggesting that the academic environment may be more multifaceted than it appears.
In conclusion,
the examination of the academic relationships among Nobel Prize winners reveals an intricate web of influence that questions the notions of merit and diversity in academia. The findings challenge the perception of the Nobel Prize as a purely objective measure of scientific achievement, highlighting the importance of recognizing the interconnected nature of academic success. This insight calls for a re-evaluation of how we understand academic recognition and the potential barriers faced by those outside the established networks. The Nature article highlighting the interconnectedness of Nobel Prize winners reveals a significant yet often overlooked aspect of academic recognition: the insularity of the academic network that influences who gets awarded such prestigious honors. This phenomenon, where 702 out of 736 Nobel laureates are linked through academic collaborations, mentorships, or shared institutional affiliations,
is critical for several reasons. The importance of academic networks.
1. Meritocracy versus connections. The notion that the Nobel Prize reflects pure meritocracy is challenged by the findings of the article. With only 32 researchers outside this network receiving the Nobel Prize, it suggests that recognition may be more about being within influential circles rather than solely about groundbreaking work. This raises questions about the fairness of the selection process and whether it adequately recognizes diverse contributions from outside established networks. 2. Impact on diversity and innovation. The dense web of connections among laureates could stifle diversity in thought and innovation. If recognition and funding primarily flow to those who are already part of these academic families, it limits opportunities for fresh ideas and perspectives that could emerge from a more inclusive pool of researchers. This insularity could reinforce existing paradigms and hinder the advancement of science by marginalizing potentially transformative ideas from underrepresented scholars.
3. Mentorship dynamics. The interconnectedness also highlights the crucial role of mentorship in academia.
While mentorship is undoubtedly valuable, it can lead to echo chambers where only certain ideas are validated and disseminated. This dynamic could perpetuate a cycle where only those with established mentors gain recognition, further entrenching the same academic families in positions of power.
Implications for future recognition.
The implications of these findings extend beyond the Nobel Prize. They suggest that similar biases may exist in other prestigious awards and funding opportunities within academia. If the academic community does not critically examine how recognition is awarded, it risks creating a homogeneous environment that does not reflect the true diversity of thought and innovation in science and economics. Interdisciplinary pathways. The inclusion of personal narratives such as Richard Senner's transition from physics to economics underscores the importance of interdisciplinary approaches in academia. While the Nature article focuses on the interconnections among Nobel winners, these personal stories illustrate that academic pathways are increasingly fluid. This highlights the potential for breakthroughs that arise when disciplines intersect, suggesting that a more diverse array of academic backgrounds could lead to significant advancements. Social media reflections. Engagement on platforms like X and LinkedIn further amplifies the discussion around academic networks and their implications. Users share their experiences and insights, revealing a collective recognition of the insularity within academia. Edward Tufte's reflections, while not directly tied to the Nobel findings, echo the sentiments of creative exploration and the importance of broader perspectives in academia. Conclusion. The insights from the Nature article regarding the interconnectedness of Nobel Prize winners serve as a crucial reminder of the complexities within academic recognition. The significant number of laureates linked through networks calls into question the integrity of meritocratic ideals in academia. By understanding these dynamics, stakeholders in the academic community can advocate for more inclusive practices that foster diversity and innovation. It is essential to not overlook these findings, as they point toward a need for systemic change that could ultimately enhance the quality and breadth of scientific inquiry. 1. Interconnectedness of Nobel laureates. The article reveals a significant finding that 702 out of 736 Nobel Prize winners in science and economics are part of an interconnected academic network. This points to a highly insular academic community where collaboration and mentorship play crucial roles in career advancement. The implications of this interconnectedness raise concerns about the inclusivity of the Nobel Prize selection process, suggesting that recognition is often limited to those within established academic families, potentially sidelining deserving candidates from diverse backgrounds. 2. Meritocracy and diversity in academia. The findings challenge the notion of meritocracy in academia, as they imply that the Nobel Prize may not solely reflect individual accomplishments but rather the influence of existing academic networks. This raises critical questions about the diversity of perspectives within the scientific community and whether groundbreaking work is being overlooked due to the entrenched nature of these networks. The article prompts a broader discussion on how academic recognition can be made more equitable and how to ensure that diverse voices and innovative ideas are not stifled by entrenched hierarchies. 3. Interdisciplinary academic pathways. The personal anecdotes shared on social media, particularly Richard Senner's journey from physics to economics, highlight the growing trend of interdisciplinary research. This trend is supported by the tightly knit relationships among Nobel winners, suggesting that collaboration across disciplines can enrich academic inquiry. However, it also raises questions about how these interdisciplinary pathways are perceived within traditional academic structures and whether they are adequately recognized in prestigious awards like the Nobel Prize. For social media perspectives on academia, the discussions on platforms like X and LinkedIn emphasize varying personal experiences and reflections on the academic journey. Edward Tufte's artistic perspective, while not directly related to the Nobel findings, illustrates the wide-ranging interests of academics that extend beyond their primary fields. This points to a broader cultural conversation about how academia can benefit from diverse experiences and perspectives, challenging the existing norms of academic recognition and encouraging a more holistic view of scholarly success. 1. The American Academy of Arts and Sciences AAAS and its influence. Founded in 1780, the AAAS is an honorary society that has historically recognized and fostered excellence in a variety of fields including science, arts,
and humanities.
A significant number of its members have gone on to receive Nobel Prizes, creating a network of influence that perpetuates itself. The interconnectedness of scholars through this organization has led to discussions about how membership can act as a gatekeeper for recognition and funding, similar to the findings in the Nature article regarding Nobel laureates. The AAAS has often been critiqued for its insularity and the way it shapes academic discourse, raising questions about meritocracy versus established networks. 2. The Royal Society of London. Established in 1660, the Royal Society is one of the oldest and most prestigious scientific societies in the world. Many Nobel Prize winners in science are members of the Royal Society, creating a dense network of scholars. The Society's influence has often been cited in discussions about academic elitism and the ways in which established connections can impact scientific recognition. The interconnectedness among its members has led to debates about how this network may prioritize certain research areas and methodologies over others, akin to the patterns observed among Nobel laureates in the Nature article. 3. The National Academy of Sciences (NAS). Founded in 1863, the NAS is a private non-profit society of distinguished scholars engaged in scientific and engineering research. Membership in the NAS is often seen as a precursor to receiving a Nobel Prize, as many members eventually achieve this accolade. The composition of the NAS reflects a network that can reinforce existing hierarchies within the scientific community, drawing parallels to the Nature article's assertion that a large number of Nobel winners are part of the same academic family. The discussions surrounding the NAS often focus on the implications of such networks for scientific innovation and diversity, echoing the concerns raised about the Nobel Prize selection process. The interconnected nature of Nobel Prize winners in science and economics, as highlighted in the Nature article, opens up several avenues for future predictions regarding academia diversity and the evolution of meritocratic recognition. 1. Growing emphasis on interdisciplinary collaboration. As the article illustrates, the academic landscape is heavily influenced by established relationships. Moving forward, we can expect a significant increase in interdisciplinary collaboration. Researchers will increasingly cross traditional boundaries, merging insights from various fields to tackle complex global challenges. This trend will be facilitated by funding agencies and institutions that prioritize interdisciplinary projects, ultimately leading to more innovative and impactful research outcomes. 2. Evolution of award recognition processes. Given the concerns around the insularity of Nobel Prize laureates, there may be calls for reform in how prestigious awards are granted. Future recognition processes might incorporate broader criteria that account for diversity in academic backgrounds and collaborative efforts across networks. We might see the emergence of new awards that specifically aim to celebrate innovation and progress in diverse fields, moving beyond the traditional academic family structure. 3. Rising importance of open science and public engagement. The academic community is gradually shifting towards open science practices, promoting transparency and accessibility in research. This trend is likely to accelerate, with institutions encouraging researchers to share their findings openly. Public engagement will become an integral part of the research process, allowing for a wider range of voices and perspectives. As a result, the academic network will become more inclusive, fostering innovation that reflects a broader societal context. 4. Increased role of technology in academia. With the rapid advancement of technology, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, the future of academic research will be transformed. These technologies will facilitate collaboration, data analysis, and dissemination of research findings. Furthermore, platforms that connect researchers across disciplines will become more prevalent, potentially disrupting existing academic hierarchies and networks. This democratization of knowledge will create opportunities for underrepresented scholars to gain visibility and recognition. 5. Shifts in academic funding and resource allocation. The interconnectedness of Nobel laureates raises questions about funding equity. As awareness grows about the biases in funding allocation, future funding bodies may adopt more equitable practices. This could involve diversifying their panels and ensuring that resources are distributed to a wider array of researchers, particularly those outside established networks. As a result, we may witness a more diverse group of researchers receiving funding for groundbreaking work. 6. Changing dynamics of mentorship and training. The insular academic environment may prompt a re-evaluation of mentorship practices. Future mentorship models will likely emphasize inclusivity and diversity, encouraging established scholars to support a broader range of emerging researchers. This shift could lead to more equitable pathways in academia and help break the cycle of nepotism that has historically characterized the Nobel Prize network. 7. Emergence of alternative academic metrics. As discussions surrounding the meritocracy of academic recognition continue, we may see the rise of alternative metrics to evaluate research impact. Traditional citation metrics may be supplemented or replaced by more holistic assessments that consider social impact, community engagement, and interdisciplinary collaboration. This shift could foster a more comprehensive understanding of academic success beyond the confines of awards like the Nobel Prize. 8. Increased focus on global and societal challenges. The future of academic research will likely be shaped by pressing global issues such as climate change, health crises, and social inequality. Researchers will be called upon to address these challenges through collaborative efforts that transcend traditional academic boundaries. This focus on societal impact will drive funding and recognition toward those who contribute to solutions that benefit humanity as a whole. Conclusion. The findings from the Nature article prompt critical reflections on the structure and practices of academia. The future outlook suggests that while established networks have shaped recognition in the past, the academic landscape is poised for transformation. Emphasizing interdisciplinary collaboration, equitable funding, and innovative recognition processes will create a more inclusive and dynamic research environment. As academia evolves, it will be essential to prioritize diversity and social impact, ensuring that the next generation of scholars can thrive and contribute meaningfully to society.